Everybody got. Well, let's redo it. I'll just tongue twist myself. Everybody, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and welcome back to our segment. We're about to go to our next question. If you could make a rule everyone had to follow, what would it be?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Okay. If you could make a rule that everyone had to follow, like they had no choice to follow, what would it be?
Ooh.
I see some devious thoughts flying
No,
around.
I'm actually trying to take this one serious. Everyone would have to take a shower. Everyone would know what water and soap is, because not everybody.
Thank you.
Everyone
Thank
has
you.
to take a shower. So, in what situation are we in? Like, is it a rule for that first question you asked we were talking about, or it's just a general rule?
No, it's like a law. Like everyone.
Yeah,
law
like-
that everyone should.
Yes.
I'll stay to the basics, the golden rule.
Treat everyone how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people.
I want to be treated bad.
Yeah,
Disrespect me.
some people won't care. Like society as a whole, sometimes you have to head hold because there's always going to be those few.
those
Well, I
few
do
phenomena.
Outliers.
Yeah.
And they always gonna truly be there. But the reason why I would choose that as a thing is because regardless of the difficulties, regardless of the outliers, that's what keeps everything together. At the end of the day, it's just like in the household, right? The reason why you coexist with a stranger, or you just meet somebody who's like, oh, you're going to be my partner, or you're going to be this. It's really because you're applying that.
Yeah.
True.
Indirectly. And even for us to be here, it's because we are applying it, even when we are not aware of it.
Yeah.
It's just unseen of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I speak, you respond, and then another person responds. It's like we are.
It's
like
a constant
thing that is constantly happening.
But just bouncing back and forth
and it's
nonstop.
always there.
Usually, how you were talked to is how you respond.
Exactly. Usually, how you talk is how you respond. But then, is there a way that we can do it intentionally? Do you see what I mean?
How would you word a law like that?
It's a very difficult law.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple pages. It's going to be amended a couple times.
It is a very difficult law, because I don't like easy things.
Yeah.
But it's which we are still dealing with humans. We are still dealing with that law.
Yeah.
It's a law, but we're having difficulty with it.
Yeah, even because it is a social contract law. It's one of those things that's not.
Yes.
We don't speak upon it, but
it's understood.
Yes.
And we are constantly applying it, because how does
and
your
we
neighbor
do suck
just
about it.
accept their space and they accept your space
Yeah.
and they do what they don't come here suddenly they start putting trash here behind your yard. They're applying that law.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But it's like a constant. We just need to be reminded of it. But I won't make it because it already exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a tough law. But if it was just a regular one without going too deep and being very vague, I think I'm gonna leave that to you because I'm still thinking which law. Because you were happy with him showering. Why showering? Like why showering?
I've met some people where I'm just like, bro, when was the last time?
Because I know when you hop in that shower, it's about to get replaced.
That walking bad. Past wind sometimes.
Okay, so talking about showers, let's go there. Because males that have, maybe let me not generalize. There are people who shower, but they shower up to here, and then going down there doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying. Like there needs to be a full, there will be a presentation. This is how you do it.
You got to take a course on how to properly bathe yourself.
Yes, like this.
I think it's needed in this society. It's not even. It's absolutely needed.
This is soap. This is a washcloth. You put water on the washcloth. You put soap on the washcloth. Where there's bubbles,
right?
So you can see that there's soap on there. and you put it everywhere. There's shampoo for the hair, like step by step. I would go full kindergarten, full Barney style lesson because there are people I've met that need that. And I'm like, you really just came out here like this in front of other people?
Yeah.
And
You want to torture us in the public space?
every time you walk by me, I have some backwind that's real crucial. and you think this is okay.
Me and him don't do the facial conversation very often, but if you walk past us and I'm immediately like, there's an issue.
That is, yeah, the love. But the shower, it's a good one. It's hygiene. It's
Yes.
hygiene. And
People
And
practice horrible hygiene.
yeah, there are people who truly have a horrible hygiene. And it's very disturbing. It's not only, and it violates the golden rule.
So you don't care about my nose, huh?
It'll ruin my whole day. You ever smell someone and they smell so bad it ruined your day?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like
you
it,
know?
Like you were being real disrespectful. That was mad disrespectful.
especially I've had that happen at work, like at work meetings, and I'd be like, "You just came up here like that?
So
You
wait,
just
Yeah.
no one told you before you left your house?"
Yeah, yeah. And how do you deal with somebody? Because that's the hygiene. And since we're there, when they don't have the right breath.
so look, this I'm kind of cruel with this because I'm super straightforward. I say, "Hey, did you brush your teeth this morning?"
Hey, that's not cruel. As long as you're not
And
doing
then-
it like super loud,
And
they might have needed that.
Because they
No,
may
no.
be sick too. There are people who have a disease.
yeah,
that can
like
cause that.
one of my old cooks that used to work for me. He had this thing where it was something dealing with his something in his throat that it caused it, but it was from a
The
sickness that he
acid,
had.
Yeah. the
Yeah.
acid
Oh, that sucks.
So I understood his reasoning behind it,
Mhm.
but I still joked on him. Yo, I got some mouthwash in the back. He used to be like this.
Hey, you need
I
to
hate you.
wear, you need to wear a mask or something. I understand it's a
So-
medical thing, but
So I was working at what was that? I was working at this pizza spot, and this guy smelled like piss every day he came in there,
that's tragic.
and he had to work on the line with me. I used to be like this.
Oh, boy.
I was like, and everybody kept talking about it, and they say because it was like this was like my third day working with him. He was a new hire, and I'm like this. I'm about to say something. He said, no, just take him in the office. So I took him in the office. Of course, I heard everybody's ears on the door. I'm like, I'm like, we're having an issue with like your hygiene's like very, very, very poor. I said, I don't know what it is, but you come in, you have different smells to you, and like you smell like old shoes and you smell like urine. He was like, well, I took a shower.
Do you wash your clothes?
No, so this is my reaction. Like I wasn't even trying to. I said, well, what did you shower? You hop in the shower, rinse your body off, and hop back out. Because I'm like, there's no way that you took a shower and you smell like your skin smells like urine.
Also, how is that possible?
And they took a shower.
He must have took a golden shower. But he literally, when I say, and I wasn't trying to be mean, but I'm like, dude, I can't have you working on my line serving people. Like we're making people's food, and your body hygiene smells like this. I'm like this because I told him when I was preparing the pizzas with you next to you, I said I wanted to vomit. I'm like, and even in this office right now, it smells so bad.
Even after they leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just stays
That's
there.
the thing.
And
Like-
it never gets away very quickly. Yeah. I think maybe the other thing with that, you just give them a gift. You give them a gift of
Soon as Christmas came,
give them a
body wash.
Body wash, right? How about that?
Multiple, not just one.
Everybody,
I'm getting
hey, we draw the names out of a hat to see who got who, but everybody knows we're all buying him a gift.
Exactly. And we all know what gift
We
we're
getting you.
him,
We
right?
getting you a year's supply, bro. You ain't running.
Body
out.
wash and cologne,
Right. So
and don't use that cologne unless you're using the body wash.
right. And that for sure, that next time it's like, what happened to the gift we gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's going on with that? Because it's such a sensitive matter,
it is.
right? And having the courage to really approach somebody else and be like, hey, this everything okay? Or
It took me 3 days.
are
'Cause-
you okay? Because this is really not only bothering me, but I wonder how you feel about it. It's not
They don't.
bothering
I don't
you?
even think they know.
I don't.
You don't know?
I think
A lot
their
of people,
nose is so used to that smell, they can't even tell that it's actually them. They don't smell it. And because certain people naturally just they perspire a lot more. So they have
that's a different smell. Though.
trust me, I know. I was there, but certain people perspire a lot, and for them, regular deodorants don't work. So they may get musty very quickly, even though they didn't use a ton of deodorant. So, but that's different. But that's body chemical. Some people don't even realize that they actually have a smell to them that may be discomfort for other people because the smell is they're so used to that smell. That's all they know, and their car smells like it. Their house smells like it.
That's all what they're familiar with.
Yes. So
And
for
you know that
them,
these toxins too, associated toxins. Usually, when you start eliminating toxins in your body, then the smell is not as intense as that. Especially people
Go more into that.
who definitely have a strong toxin.
Mhm.
That means they accumulate too much of that, and then the body is just kind of like trying to get everything out. So depending on where you're living and how, because there is less toxicity, there's more toxicity, and all those things. If your body has accumulated for so long time, it has to express it. And so when you express it with the sweat and all those things, and then also lack of nutrients that can cause you to have that intense smells, it's all from within. So the people who have that element, they absolutely also have to do a heavy metal testing to see how their toxic level it is in their system, because all can be solved, all can be this. But again, it's
You know, that's interesting because I had a friend that was overweight and they started working out more, but they also started fasting. And they never smelled before. And it wasn't like terrible, but they had a different smell after they started fasting. And I didn't realize.
It's toxins.
Yeah.
It is toxins. You're extracting them out.
Okay.
And they have no any other way to get out other than through that.
That's real interesting.
So
your body always going to work in a way to just make sure that things are extracted. And when it's overwhelmed, it's either through air, through urine, through whatever, it's going to work hard to take it out. If it's a smell, so be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Though.
Yeah.
But
It's unfortunate. It's everybody else.
It's like, yo, you know he's sick. It ain't that. He just don't wash up. He's like this. No, he does wash up. I seen him shower. Like, not I heard the water. I didn't know he was in there.
Yeah. There are people who truly, just so you mentioned, especially when you do a detox and you fast. Now everything it's like your pores, you're opening them, and now they are free. Oh, they're going to express themselves. You're going to heal. You're going to send the smell.
And they're going to sing a very, very, very strong song.
I don't think they singing. They might be screaming. So what about you, bro?
So for me, if there was one rule that I can implement that everybody had to follow, I'm not going to be no diabolical type. Nothing like that. I would literally make it that people have to spend at least one day a month with their family.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't spend any time with their family in any which way, shape, or form, besides once every year or something, that a family reunion or something like that. And I honestly really feel family need to learn each other a lot better.
Yes.
We know each other growing up, but once we go our separate ways and we start our own life,
we like the tribe.
Yeah, we're strangers to each other, honestly. I know more about Dwayne than I know about some of my cousins that I grew up with, but we just...
No, that's fair. My family because I moved here when I was 7. Most of my family on both my mom and dad's side is in North Carolina, and I don't really see them that much. We go.
Yeah.
Like if it's not outside my immediate, like my uncles and because I went to my younger cousin's wedding, but like the family is big. I have a lot of cousins that I used to play with all the time when I was little. And now so that's a good point.
Yeah. So you don't truly know them.
Yeah. when I do come down and visit, it's like getting to know strangers again.
Yeah, because like for me, I got cousins that literally live 5 minutes from where I stay now, and I haven't spoken to them in like
That's
5 years.
Let's say there's
Oh
5 minutes.
wow.
And it's just because their life is their life, which I understand. Yes, but like I'm the type that no matter what, I'm still gonna reach out, and even though I may not like my work skills used to be ridiculous. I worked every day, and I open and close, so I really didn't get to interact with a lot of my family.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I would still reach out because I would still want to know if you're good, if you're okay,
You're fine. Yeah.
or if you got free time. Hey, come up to my restaurant. Even if you don't buy anything, just come up because I want to see you. And I think that we don't have that mentality anymore where our family looks at each other as we are a tribe, even though we go out and still live our lives.
And we have lost
We definitely
that. We
lost
have
that.
lost that like tremendously, and that will be a great thing that definitely everybody can benefit from. I grew up with family ties, very very important, and just because also the situation that we went through, we even understood even much better at what extent how important it is.
Mm.
So like family is key.
Yeah.
Family is key. I may not have too many friends out there, but I need to know my family.
Yeah.
I may not have like all this glamours in there, but that it does not mean you shouldn't go out there and find friends and make community and all those things. But what it means is charity begins at home.
Yeah.
And so we just grew up with that essence
Mm.
that is not something to me that rule it's normal.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's a must be. But observing the
be.
community and everything
Yeah.
is not there anymore. But there's still few out there who still really stand on that. Like we stand on that, like tremendously.
Why do you think that is?
Family and everything. Why did it disappear?
Because even with French, like even with chosen tribes, that's still falling a lot. Like people as a whole, at least in America or the West in general, there's a whole loneliness thing happening, especially after
the
COVID.
loneliness is a big one. But I think, which is my rule that I was just gonna mention, it's just gonna go through with what how I'm gonna respond to your answer. Is I think generally is not only the tribes, we're just getting into a new era.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Where we started understanding individualism, being independent, being in that I'm not going to depend on my mom. I'm not going to depend. Since you start at the age of 16, you can work, you can buy your own gas, you can now start paying your insurance. Now you start feeling that you are your own, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it start going from one generation to another. And then before you know it, each and every person feels that they are on their own identity.
Yeah.
But that's not the future era that's coming. The future, which is where my rule will be, every person, every individual takes time to center with themselves and know who they truly are. Because once I know who I am, it's very easy to love somebody else.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
But if I do not know me, then I'm busy seeking.
You know what? I
here
will say.
and there.
I will say. I feel like the younger generation is further along than our generation that was with that. I feel
They
like
are
our
long.
generation and the generation above us had more of the leaderless individualism.
Mhm.
Like we were just doing it. It was new.
Mhm.
We just kind of went out into the world
Mhm.
and like we figured things out, but it wasn't. We didn't figure ourselves out in mass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's where also it's also another issue, which is a big one, where you live in a community, which is a togetherness, but you don't truly even know yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the community requested you to figure out this thing for the community, but you haven't even figured out who you are. And now, when we're telling these children to be individual, they don't even know what does it mean to figure me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
What
don't
is
think.
it?
I don't think recently in our history as humans we had that either. I think even when we were big on family, I feel like more in the past you had tribalism with individualism. You still had to figure out how you worked in the tribe
Mm-hmm.
and how you could be an asset, but you also had to figure out how you were, for lack of like a category, as a man or as a woman. There were trials or tests or rites of passages that allowed you to see who you were.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the military boot camp, you learn about yourself.
100%. You're forced to.
Yeah, we don't really have those recently as a society, and then the shift to individualism, there was nothing to pass down that would also help you figure out who you are. Does that make sense?
Because I know, like, just from my personal experience, since I wasn't in the military, but I learned a lot about myself from certain trials that I went through, and just from people meeting me today, they're like, "You're very confident in yourself. What, like, you must really know yourself." And I'm like, I do, honestly, because what I had to deal with and certain hardships that I had to, unfortunately, had to suffer from, it taught me so much about myself that I didn't even real like. And don't get me wrong, I'm still learning about myself even to this day. Don't get me wrong, but there was just certain stuff that was just so traumatic to me at a certain point in time where I realized who I wanted to be. I realized what I am. I realized what I like what I truly like and what I truly dislike, what makes me uncomfortable. I realized all sorts of things like that because, like just growing up, I was shy. This conversation we're having now, I wouldn't even be able to speak on it at all. It would literally be, I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I would always be like real soft tone. I wouldn't speak for people to hear me. I was embarrassed to even for people to hear my opinion on different things. It was just like I did a full 360. And now it's like, okay, I have me, but that was because of certain things that I went through that allowed me to actually see who I am. And now I love talking to people.
Right.
Imagine being put as a manager, coming right out of high school as a manager at a restaurant, and you can't even speak to people.
Right.
I was embarrassed to speak to people, and it wasn't because they were making me feel uncomfortable. I just personally felt uncomfortable a lot, and I'm like, yeah. So hey, everybody, like during the team meetings, I would be looking down, couldn't look up, and
yeah.
people were like, "Yo, we're all cool with you. What's wrong?" On the individual side, I can talk to people, but when it came to as a group
of people, yeah.
I was, yeah, hey, so, all right, so we're gonna do something new, and people were like, what's wrong? But it took a couple of different things for me to realize, and I was like, that's something that's very deep in me that makes me act like this.
And how did you overcome that?
So with me, it was I was like, since I'm very talented in multiple fields, and I got put into a situation where I had to basically speak in front of like 1,000 people. I was back. I was back behind the curtains going through it. I can't speak to these people. I really can't talk to them. A guy that was a speaker came and told me, he was like, dude, he said, just imagine they're your friends and your family. Because I'm pretty sure you talk to your friends and family on a regular basis, and you're loud, you project your voice, you make sure they understand where you're coming from. You're not afraid to give your ideals, your opinions, and stuff to them. He said, yo, just look at everybody as family, and you'll see it opens up a lot of windows for you. So it was like they asked me questions during the whole thing, so I was answering questions, but I came out real timid. But I think when we took a break, people were coming up to me like, "Yo, hey, so we just like we couldn't hear you, but what we did hear, dude, you have a lot of insight. Like, what are you doing? Like, dude, you like speak up. Like, dude, hey, we love what you're telling us. We love everything that you said." And I'm like, "Oh, they actually like me."
Yeah, so I'm the one hindering myself. Actually.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, so when I came out for the other part, I was meeting a couple other people, and we're on stage, and I'm like, so everybody, first thing I did was made a joke. I said, so I know I was real quiet, I was muffled, wasn't I? I said it was crazy because I had to look at myself. They were like this. Oh, he has a real personality.
There
I'm
you
like
go.
this.
Yeah.
And then now it was like people like, yo, I like this. I like this guy. Like this guy really, he's making me feel even more comfortable listening to him.
Mhm.
And now I have more questions for him. When I say the people on the stage with me, it's like this, dude, you made a full 360. Like, what just happened? I said, I, uh, I called my older brother. I was like, yo, hey, they actually enjoy me speaking. And that was like during the break. And literally after that, it was like, yo, you should never like you were nervous and shy to speak in front of people. What was the purpose?
Mhm.
You are great with your words, you're great speaking to people, you make people feel comfortable. Like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
And from there on, it was just
Off the switch.
I was like, I got this.
Yeah.
So everybody, check this out. And they're like, yo, I like his energy. Because they love my energy. That's why I said like it was things that I realized about myself where I realized I am a leader. I realized I do bring people together. And that situation was what made me stop acting timid.
Do you think it's necessary for people to go through some kind of controversy to actually to truly find themselves?
Is it necessary personally from my opinion? No, I don't think you necessarily have to. But certain people won't open up until something like that happens. Certain people can just they see it, they learn it. Okay, I can do it. But then certain people they need some type of traumatic
No,
experience.
I
or
mean
something.
like to learn themselves.
To learn themselves, yes.
Like
Some people can, some people can't. Because you remember everybody's different. So there's some people that just they naturally want to learn themselves. So they take the proper steps into learning themselves. Then there's other people that need guidance into learning themselves. So they need certain situations to happen. They need certain things to just okay, this like some people there's like people that basically go through certain hardships where when people become homeless, stuff like that, it helps them to basically find themselves. Certain people need it, certain people are able to actually just go out and grasp it because it is within yourself. It's the same as self-esteem. It goes hand in hand.
I don't know if I agree. I feel like most people usually go through something, even if we don't see it, to really figure out what kind of person they are, what they want to do, what they want to be.
Well, I disagree.
Well, because like even it can be as something as simple as getting to a certain spot in college and realizing you really don't want to do what it is that you're in college for.
You have to be exposed to something that you don't want in order for you to know what you want.
Yes.
There are few people, I would say, who will immediately know what they want and they go for it and they don't need any of that. But the majority of us naturally, I would think that because how would I know that I want this if I've not tested it yet? You can. And it depends on the situation. Like for instance, for myself, when I worked behind a computer, I'm like I'm comfortable. I like this. It's in terms of career, I can just continue going on. There's nothing wrong with that. That is fine. But at some point, I just came to the realization. I'm like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this.
Mhm.
But I had to be there for me to know that I cannot do that. You see what I mean? And even if it's something I learn from others, which we do,
Mhm.
which is that skill, because I like learning from others.
Yeah.
But I have to see something. I'm like, I do not want to be there.
Yeah.
So I am actually I'm using somebody else's experience to harness the fruits from it. Basically, it's like your experience is this, and you struggled going there. How special do I think I am for me not to fall into it?
Yeah.
I would still consider that going through a controversy. If you witness something that mentally impacts you, even if it doesn't fit, like if you're not, what's the term for it when you're not going, it's secondhand because you witness it when you witness it and you're not going through it personally.
Mhm.
I still think that's going through something. Me personally, you know what I mean?
but it's
It's different. It's kind of different, but it's a second hand. I like
Yeah.
the way you're using the word. It's a second hand. It's not first hand, but it's a second hand. I
Yeah.
like that more. Like you're not directly experiencing, but you're experiencing through others. That's the second hand. And then there are those people who they already know. It's
Mm.
like they already know.
Yeah.
And that comes to like the essence of being, because all of us, we are not on the same, I don't even know how to say this. Like we are here as humans,
Mm.
but our knowingness and our thing is not on the same level.
Yeah, because there's the human experience is too individualized, even within the same group and culture.
100%.
So
Yeah.
you can't,
Yeah.
you'll never be able to replicate another human being.
No, you can't. You can definitely not do that. So there's somebody else who already know. It's like I know that if I go there, I'm gonna hurt myself.
hmm
And I know if I go here, I'll be fine. I know here I'm gonna hurt myself, but I'm gonna still go through.
Mm.
And then there's where you don't know, and then you learn from there, and then that's when you know what you want.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And I think we have all of it, and everything you mentioned it, that it's within us.
hmm
We just have to awaken it, and that's the era that is coming. We really truly need to know who we are.
Especially because
Yeah.
we're hard-headed.
Yeah.
Humans are extremely hard-headed.
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary. We do stuff unnecessarily, and it's like, why did I even like when you sit back and why did I even do this? The whole time, everything was in front of me. The whole time, I had to be this difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done that a few. You've watched me do that.
Yeah.
You-
And I was like,
and he'll say
mhm.
something. I'm like, nah, I got it. All right. He'll wait. A week could go by. Hey, so that thing? He'll be like,
I'll wait. I was waiting for this because I knew it was coming.
And that's wisdom, allowing other people to learn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's what truly is. It's also not pushing your sense of being.
Mhm.
You know, I can tell you, hey, don't touch that stove, it's hot, because if you touch it's gonna burn you, right? I'm not gonna stand there and keep holding your hand, so you're not gonna say,
Yeah.
no, I'll step back and let you touch it.
Mhm.
When you feel the burn, you're gonna come here and I'll still work
that's how I
on
know. That's how I know you're a parent. That's how I know you're a parent. Because I'll do that. I'll give a few warnings. Hey, don't do this. Don't do that. All right.
Yeah.
See,
All right.
You know?
so
Yeah. Yeah.
so for like my younger siblings, I basically they grew up with me because my both my dad and his ex-wife basically worked all the time, so I would watch the kids. I was on babysitter duty at all times. So when I knew it was something, I knew, and if I gave them one warning, go ahead and touch that. I'll wait, and then when they do it, they feel like what I was trying to explain to them that they didn't want to listen.
Mhm.
I'm like this, hurt, don't it? Crazy. I tried to stop you, but
And then they always look at you
You're
like it's
yeah.
your fault.
I'm like, look, I gave you one warning. You told me whatever. I sat back and said, all right, go ahead.
Mhm.
Let's see how that worked out for you.
Yeah.
And it didn't work, did it?
Yeah.
Now you're hurt. Oh, I'm gonna take care of you. I'll make sure you're good. But
Right.
You'll be aftercare.
Right.
but you learned the lesson, didn't you?
You
And
know-
that's a lesson. And
Yeah.
you have to allow, and that happens not only on children, on adults.
Oh yeah.
too. It applies to each one of us, you know. And then sometimes it's like, and there's those people who absolutely want to experience it.
Yes.
No matter how many
Yeah.
times you tell them, it doesn't work. No matter how many times you do it, it doesn't work. They
Yes.
just absolutely want to experience it. Okay, go experience it. I'll be here, and as you said, I'll be here taking care of you after you're done. You know, I'm not going to throw you away or refuse you.
I feel like those are a specific. Those are usually the type of people that don't. I don't want to verbalize this. They're usually the kind that won't accept they can't do something until they know for a fact
Yeah,
they can't do it.
either.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like so. So let's just use this for an example. When people talk about drugs,
Mhm.
so when people say, "Oh, man, I can knock that," I don't know what people talking about. That's nothing. Me, you tell me that this is. You tell me what it does to the brain receptors, and you give me proof that this is what it's going to do. Oh no, I'm good. Don't even bring that around.
Yeah.
But then there's other people is, I'll try it. You know, it ain't gonna be nothing. I break any habit I want to break.
Yeah.
Not realizing, do you not realize that habit has been from literally one for certain drugs, like let's just say crack, one time your brain
Yep.
receptors got a whole new feeling that it craves now. You don't understand that it's not something you can physically just say I don't want to do anymore.
Yep.
Because a physical not doing is different than your body telling you we want this.
Yeah, it's taking over.
And people,
It's not even I want, it's I need.
yeah. And people don't understand. People don't understand that. Like, unfortunately, somebody I know, they passed away, but they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it just to try it." And I said, "Yo, you really want to do that?" I said, "I'm like this. Look, there's science behind this. Please don't do this because it's gonna be the stupidest thing you ever do."
There you go. They do it one time,
Yep.
2
And they're done.
times, and then before you know it,
it's
they're
crazy
done.
to me because I had to sit down and talk to somebody about it. Some stuff they're getting into. It was similar. And I was like, do you understand your body has 3 hierarchy of needs: sleep, food, and water? And you're, out of everything you have, those are the only 3 things your body be like, I need.
Yeah.
You're adding another one. And that's
Yeah.
how.
I like that. I actually like that. And I think people, I don't know if education is enough because people know.
Oh yeah, they definitely
You know
know.
what I mean? It's not like they don't know. So I do not know what is the other thing that is pushing someone to do it once well, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and you already know because once you hit the 10th time, you can return back.
Yeah.
There's no returning back. It's like that's the way, and you're not gonna return back anymore. That's all gone.
Yep.
So it's just like that 4th element that you add in there. Are you able to handle it? Because it's gonna handle you.
Yeah.
Just like when you are hungry, listen. That's on the earlier one we started on.
You become people. Some people become a whole different person when
Oh
they're
Yeah.
hungry.
yes.
You like,
yes.
yo, you good over there? Hey, I got some snacks. Just go. Hey, I don't even tell people where they're at, but you need them.
Yeah.
So that's why that was a good explanation of it because literally when you think about it, like unfortunately, if he would have literally just listened to the science behind it and what we see other people go through.
Yeah, learning from others. Yes.
The second hand, bro. That'll save you.
Yes. Oh yeah, that is a savior.
This was literally
That
me.
is truly.
It was like, oh, that's what it does.
Yeah.
Hey, go home. Get away from me. Don't bring that stuff around me ever again.
Yeah.
That's my mindset.
Yeah.
But some people like this, I see people do it all the time. So, and this is, and unfortunately, I hate this because people do. So for people that smoke weed, okay, I have no problem with marijuana. And my personal opinion, I don't think it's a gateway drug. But when I see people basically like, oh man, I need a stronger high. I'm like, well, wait a minute. How high do you need to get? Because that stimulates you. It doesn't put you to a point where your body, your receptors are acting in. That's